By the end of this episode, you are going to understand what I mean when I say that life is like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Hey, I'm Rosie. I'm the host of this podcast, The Pursuit of Freedom. If you're new here, I live full-time in my van with my red dog Tilly. And this is episode 50. I just can't believe that I have stuck to something for this long. I think this is the longest I have stuck to something, and I'm so incredibly proud of that. Having a podcast has been a dream for so long. So here I am. I finally started last year. I think I launched in May. And here we are. It's my mum's birthday. She would have been 66 today. And this episode will be going live tomorrow. And I've really been pondering what to talk about in this episode. It's been going through my head. I'm like, I want it to be a solo one. I want to offer some value. And I was like, oh, maybe I could do a list of 50 things I've learned. I'm like, oh, God, really? I could, but I think that would be quite boring to listen to. 50 things. How long are you got? Oh, my goodness. So I wanted to talk about how life is like a choose-your-own-adventure book. This is a realization or a thought I had not too long ago. It was maybe, 2 weeks ago, because I've been feeling a bit lost, if I'm honest. It was a dream for so long to move into the van, and I had created this fantasy land, this dream, this vision of what it would be like. And whilst van life has been great and I've loved it, it didn't solve anything, if that makes sense. There was that initial excitement and oh my fucking God, this is amazing. And yeah, it was amazing. It is amazing and I'm proud of that. But didn't address it was just achieving a goal, if that makes sense. It was a goal. And I want to talk about this because if you're anything like me, you set these ambitious goals. It takes you years to get to it. And then you get there. Okay, there's a bit of excitement, and then you're like, oh, now what? What an awful feeling. You've just achieved an awesome fucking goal. What is going on? But it's a pattern for me. I remember when I graduated from uni to become a teacher, I hated it. The courses were terrible. Uni was it was just awful. But the only thing that got me through was, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to get my permanent position and I'm going to be amazing. I graduated. I got my permanent position. I fucking hated it, by the way. My mental health was the worst it has ever been when I started teaching. Not necessarily because of the teaching, but it certainly exacerbated the situation. My point, though, is that my whole world revolved around getting that degree so I could become a teacher. I became a teacher and it was just like, okay, I've got the title. I'm getting a full-time wage now. I'm a grown-up, whatever. But it didn't feel fulfilling. You know, it was just like, yeah, go Rosie. She got her degree. Woohoo. Yeah, okay. And it just, I don't know, it just happens. And I remember I did a team Ironman where I did the running leg. And it was like, yeah, let's do it. It was amazing. I did it. Felt great for that day. I was like, oh, okay, now what? And most recently, with the van, I've spent 4 years converting this. I moved in and it's been amazing, and I must say the high from achieving this goal has lasted quite a while. But again, I find myself in this space going, Well, now what? I still feel lost. And I think I've just been looking at goals wrong. And I know that most of you do as well. So here's how I look at it wrong. And I'm guessing you probably do too. When I set a goal, it's like the be-all, end-all. This is very rigid, inflexible goal. You know, you've got to aim high, right? And you got to get to the goal, otherwise you're a failure. But what happens if you get to the goal? Like, what happens? You put a tick in the checkbox next to it? I really have this aversion to goals. I don't know what it is. But I'm working on a framework because it's fucked. And if I hear someone say SMART goals one more time, I'm going to lose it. If you don't know what a SMART goal is, I'm not going there. If you're a teacher, you definitely know what it is. If you've ever been to a psychologist, you definitely know what it is. SMART goals do my head in. It stands for specific, measurable, actionable, realistic and time-bound. That's how you set a good goal. Okay, cool. Fucking hate goals. I was looking at it all wrong. Life isn't about goals. It's not really. It's about adventures. So if you go back to the beginning of the episode, about 7 minutes ago, I said life is like a choose your own adventure book. But only if you let it, right? And once I had this thought, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. I wonder if I've still got the note. Yeah, I do. So I had this thought, and this is what I scribbled down. I was kind of doing a bit of journaling. Listen to this. This is what I said. I thought it was so powerful. Life is a grand adventure. Death is the only end point, but you never know when it will arrive. How much fun. Whoa. Fun? What? I'm smiling reading it because I have always been terrified of death. Always. And losing my parents, I think, plays a big part of that. I'm terrified of losing the people I love. And I'm terrified of death. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in heaven or hell or the afterlife. I just don't. I don't necessarily know what I believe. But I'm not convinced we go to heaven and there we are. I get to see all my loved ones again. I don't. I kind of wish I did. Because I don't know what the alternative is and it's terrifying. So when I wrote the words down, you don't know when it will arrive, how much fun. Oh my God. All of a sudden it's this adventure. There's this endpoint we have no control over called death. I don't care where science is going. We cannot control this. It's an illusion, right? What we can control are the adventures we go on. And we don't know when death arrives. And me just 3 weeks ago found that terrifying, sometimes paralyzing. But now I'm going, hey, this is an adventure. I'm going to go do the things I want to do because who knows? Who fucking knows when it's going to end? Let's go do some shit, right? I don't know if this is making any sense, but it's like a penny dropped in my mind. It's like, oh my God, this is exciting. Let's go do shit. Life is trying to fucking light a fire under us and go and get on with it. You're going to bloody die one day. Get out there and do some shit. But a lot of us don't. Anyway, I wrote that down. I'm like, oh, maybe I should write down some of the things I want to do, adventures. Maybe it's just another word for goals. I don't think it is. These are adventures. Adventures are unpredictable. They're exciting. There's trials and tribulations. You never know how it's going to go, right? It's awesome. And if you think back to when you were a kid, did you ever have the Goosebumps books or the fiction where you'd read a chapter and then you have a choice? So choose what such and such a character does next. Are they going to tell their friend they hate them, or are they going to make up? Whatever. That's a very silly example. And then you choose which decision and you go to the page. The outcome would have been totally different if you made a different decision, just like life. But unlike the book where you can peek and cheat and look at each decision and where it goes, you can't do that in life. So, hey, let's explore and let's be curious. I want you to start thinking about life as a choose your own adventure. Our imagination is the limit. We have limited resources. Some of us are highly privileged. Some of us are highly disadvantaged. But all of us deserve to live. Not survive, to live. Fuck surviving. You deserve so much more than that. Survival's important, but it's not enough. It's just not. It's time to live. And so the exercise I did, which I think you should do too, is write down some of the adventures you want to do. And not necessarily adventures in the typical sense of, oh, I want to climb this mountain. That could be one, but just in an abstract sense. So let me quickly share some of them. I've got in here, want to write a book, speak on stage, build an off-grid home, have abundant money, online business, which I've got. I'm exploring that adventure currently. YouTube. That's something I've dabbled in before. I did grow a channel to over 300 subscribers and then I kind of fizzled out, but that's something I want to get back into. Van life. That's something I'm exploring now. Podcasting. That's something I'm exploring now. Here's the 50th episode. What a cool fucking adventure. It has been difficult, this podcasting, actually. And yeah, it's difficult, but it's difficult in that there's not a lot of external validation. All I see are some analytics on a dashboard, and hardly anyone listens to this stuff. You know, and at the moment, there's really not many listeners. Some episodes will get maybe 5 listens. What? You know, and I could be furious about that, but there are 5 people who have spent the time to listen to an episode. Maybe not all of it, but I'm not going to go there, right? But it's hard when there's not that feedback. That's why I find it difficult. There's also the editing side, which I'm learning to just not edit as much. And all my solo episodes I don't edit because it's a conversation and I don't enjoy editing. And even when I do, how much better does it make the episode? Barely. And maybe not even better at all for you guys because it's just me being critical. Anyway, back to my adventures. I also want a property portfolio, which my dear parents have, you know, they left me, so me and my sister, some property. So that adventure has begun. I want a food truck. That's something that would be so cool. And since being diagnosed as celiac a few years ago, it's really hard to eat out, especially if you just want some fast food. You know, sometimes you just want cheeky Maccas. Or what do they say? Cheeky Nando's. I don't really like Nando's, but anyway. I miss Red Rooster. Oh my God, Tropicana box. Where was I going? Yes, food truck. So I would love to have an entirely gluten-free food truck serving Greek food. Fucking love Greek food. Wouldn't that be cool? And anyway, that's there. And I also wrote on here, friends, which might sound odd to you, but I have realized more and more that despite being incredibly independent, I'm also someone who craves connection and feels incredibly lonely when I don't have people around me or people I'm talking to and have that connection with. I have a very limited network or what network is an icky word, very limited circle, I guess, of people who are close to me. And a lot of that's my own doing. I'm a hermit. I find it really hard to make friends because it takes a lot of energy. But that's an adventure I want now. I've never actually acknowledged that before. I want to build a community around me. And I guess I kind of am doing that with my online community. Oh my God, another thing I've done in the past year, right? Launched my online community, which is freaking amazing. The women in there are so good. I'm getting jazzed about it. You know, it hasn't been the source of income that I thought it would be. But holy moly, I love the community, and I really want to try and keep it going and grow it a bit more because I get a lot of value from it, and I know the members in there do too. The final thing I've got on my choose your own adventure list is home. I want somewhere that feels like home. And I think that's something I will constantly be exploring. The van at the moment feels like home. How cool is that? I think for a lot of people that might be alien. Like, what? A van? How does that feel like home? Honestly, it does. This is something I converted, built, designed myself. You know, and it's far from perfect. You know, last night I had water all over the floor. I had no idea what from. And then I saw a screw was stopping my drawer slide freezer from closing properly. And I thought, maybe it's been frosting up and now it's melting and water's everywhere. So I thought I'd fixed it, mopped it all up. Woke up the next morning, which was today. Water all over the floor. There's lots of swearing going on. Now, the drawer freezer is screwed into the floor because in a van things move. So it's screwed in there. So I'm like, that is it. I was still convinced the leak was coming from the freezer. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I uninstall the freezer, pull it out of the van. I've got it's full of frozen dog food. So that, you know, starts defrosting. I'm going, holy shit. Anyway, clean up all the freezer, da-da-da-da-da. I'm outside doing that. I come back in. There's more water. I'm like, hang on a minute. I just mopped up all the water. What? I'm scratching my head going, what the hell? And then I sort of look up from the ground, look up, and there's some plumbing, and there's a little drip. A little drip that was causing a hell of a puddle, by the way. Oh my goodness. I thought, so I didn't need to take the freezer out. Anyway, I fixed it because I designed the plumbing. I knew how to do it. Fixed it, dried everything up, checked all the other plumbing, tightened up the connections, got the freezer back in, and there we go. So it's just cool having a home that feels like mine. I mean, it is mine. And lately it's been a bit bloody annoying because it keeps breaking down. I've spent close to $3,000 so far trying to get it fixed. Still not fixed. But I think I have found the magic mechanic who is going to fix it. He just can't get it done. He can't get me in for another 11 days. So I'm at a caravan park. They're not my favourite places, but this one's actually all right. You're not packed in like sardines. I'm at this caravan park until he can get it in and fix it. It's going to cost $7,000. So yeah. But it's a choose your own fucking adventure. If you listen to my last solo episode, I think it was episode 48, I was in a really dark place. Because all of these breakdowns were getting me down, and then losing my previous client, and just the death anniversary of my parents, and just feeling lost and alone, and I was just in an awful place. And I had a friend message me going, Rosie, I didn't recognize you in that episode. Are you okay? Like, do you need to talk? I thought, shit, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty dark, and I actually haven't listened back to that episode, but I was having a rough time. So feel free to listen to that if you want. We all have those ups and downs. It's a choose your own fucking adventure. I chose to go down that path. Not consciously. Of course I didn't consciously choose to go to that dark place and feel like shit. But it's a choice, and we just have to be aware of that. So I'm choosing currently to focus on the stuff I can control. Like today's my mum's birthday, so I chose to celebrate that. I cooked up a breakfast she would have liked, zucchini fritters, and then she kind of liked bacon. Definitely not bacon with rind or fat on it, but I cooked some really fatty, delicious bacon to have with it. And tonight I made some Greek food, which she loved, and it's just been a nice day. I chose to do that. I chose my adventure for the day, and throughout life I'm going to keep choosing my adventures, and that just excites me. It's like a dopamine hit, yeah? Like we're playing a game. Woohoo, let's go, right? And I think I'm going to keep kind of jotting things down that I want to go across on my adventure. Maybe I'll draw a really random haphazard map and randomly place these adventures on there, and then I can draw lines between them. They're going to go all over the place. And some of these adventures are going to be shit. Absolutely shit. And that's okay. So yeah, I don't like goals. I like adventures. So have a think. What adventures do you want to go on in this life? Doesn't have to be too specific. What adventures do you want? Get excited about it. Rather than act from a position of fear, act from a place of curiosity. It can be excitement, but that's not really sustainable. Curiosity is the key. Remain curious. That's the key here. It really is. Be curious and just be present, observe. Harsh judgment is not useful. I think we all go through it, and it's important to go through the process, but at a stage it's like, no, okay, that happened. That was crappy. This is the role I played. This is the role someone else played, whatever, or out of my control, and I'm going to focus on something that is within my control, which is how I lead my life and what I prioritize. And if you're kind of facing a big decision, by the way, and you're a bit like, I don't freaking know what to do, and you're kind of paralyzed on that, I have the perfect episode for you. I'm just pulling out my phone because I can't remember what number it was. But if you go back, it was a while back. Let me pull it up. I should have had this ready. I was thinking about scripting this episode, and I was like, ew, that's not how I roll. So anyway, that's why it's not ready. So the episode is number 3. Here's what to do if you're feeling stuck. It was my very first solo episode on the podcast. Highly recommend you do that. You might not be in a place to fucking be writing down the adventures you're on. That's okay. You might just be going, who the hell am I? I don't even know what job I should apply to. Or maybe you are at the adventure stage. I just hit my microphone. I'm sorry. Go to episode 3. Revisit your values. You might roll your eyes. Please don't. Values are a game changer at the moment. I think my 3 core values: stay true, play fair, and be curious. And on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell. I'm so excited that I've hit 50 episodes. I'm so excited that you have been here for the ride. And I meant to mention this at the beginning, but whatever, marketing isn't my forte. So before I wrap it up, I just want to say I launched a brand new website for the podcast. I'm so, so proud of it. Please go check it out, thepursuitoffreedom.com.au. And I have a really, really big favour to ask you. Could you pretty please, if you haven't already, leave me a rating and a review? So if you go to thepursuitoffreedom.com.au/reviews, you can type a review in there, super easy. Or even better, if you're an iOS or iPhone user, if you could do it on Apple Podcasts, because this is the best way you can support me for free. It lets other people know, hey, this show was valuable. And it also gives me some feedback to go, hey, Rosie, you're doing all right. Keep going. We're listening. So that would mean the world to me. Go leave me a review. And excuse me, I keep burping. That's disgusting. And to those of you who have left me a rating or a review, thank you so much. It means the world to me. On Apple Podcasts, it's not exactly obvious how to do it. Go to the show page, scroll all the way down, and you will have an option there. I'm bringing it up so I don't say the wrong thing. So if you scroll all the way or towards the bottom, it says rating and reviews. You can tap the number of stars. That's good. But then underneath that, tap on write a review. If you're a Spotify user, unfortunately, Spotify doesn't let you write a review. It does, however, let you leave a rating. Again, it's not exactly obvious how to do it. No wonder people don't leave them for me. But go to the show page, tap the 3 dots, and there's an option there that says rate show. You tap that and tap the number of stars. That would be amazing to me. Also, on my very cool fancy website, you can leave me voice messages and feature on the podcast. So if you have some feedback, if you have some questions, you just want to say g'day or share a story, please do. You go to the website. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a microphone. You tap it or click it if you're on desktop or laptop, whatever. Send me a message. I would love, love, love to hear from you. Please let me know what your favourite episode has been. We're at episode 50. So many episodes. What has been your favourite and why? Let me know. And if you're on Spotify, did you know you could leave a comment? So you could actually comment on the Spotify episode. If you're on the episode page, right, scroll down. It says comments and you can leave a bloody comment. How cool is that? Let me know your favourite episode and why. Please leave a rating and review. I love you so much. Go choose your own adventure. Life is for living and we don't know where death is. And you know what? That is okay. I will catch you next week. See you later.